number one fan. I'm your number one fan. Gotta understand, I got a plan. Go for what you want. Might be what you thought. You gotta take the chance. Gotta understand, I'm your number one fan. Number one fan.
Hello, good evening, everyone, and welcome to another special edition here on the KSN podcast, the Kurt Social Network. I'm your host, Kurt the Magnificent, and tonight, man, we got a good guest coming on here on episode 25. Wow, it's 25 episodes already. Shout out to SM Enlightenment Radio, Doc P, my engineer, who's been with me through this whole time, and we keeping it going here on the WSME DB here, you know. The audio usually comes out on Sunday nights on his platform, and I'll bring that up again as we end the show. But I want to get this guest on, and as I bring her in, it's a lot that I could say. First is family, all right, so that's already a positive as it is right there. Number one, community person, raised in Yonkers, born, raised, still I think living in Yonkers, and a lot of different things. She's a playwriter, storyteller, got books out, and just a lot of other different things going on. Movies, series. I can't wait to just dive in, and then she can express and tell her story and get it out there for everybody to really hear. And like I said, this is family right here. My aunt's gonna come on. Let's get it for Hope Hollingsworth Coaxum. Let's give a hand right here. Yes.
Hello, everybody. Yes, I'm so glad to be on, and I'm glad that you did ask me to come on, and I'm excited. And congratulations to you and the podcast. And 25, I had no idea. 25, okay.
Yeah.
Might be a lucky number.
Listen, I should have played that the lotto. I wonder if that's tonight.
Right.
Should have played that.
Right. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Oh, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, yes. But I'm very excited.
Yes. This is great because, we get to share, talk, and get some of your background and your story, which I probably don't know. I know some, but I don't know as much, and I could probably get more. And then everybody else out there who's listening and watching, they can hear and see more, and get, a little understanding of who you are.
Yes, for sure. Definitely. That's the idea, right?
Definitely.
To express myself and express myself to the point where, yes, you'll get to know me a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to get right into it. Let's start from the beginning, all right? I said it in the intro, Yonkers, born, raised, still living, community, activist in the community, like really in the community politically, but out there as well in the neighborhoods. Let's just get that beginning, growing up and then getting to there.
Yeah, so let's see. Growing up in Yonkers, I think that's really like the beginning of my story. And a lot of times people say it's where you learn your values. And I think for me, that's the same thing. It's where I learned my values, where, you build lifelong friendships and relationships, and you discover, I guess, in that, journey, who you want to become. Yonkers is a very diverse and cultural city, and it's exposed me to people from all walks of life, which helped me to develop an open mind and also empathy. And those early experiences, I want to say, really taught me about resilience and working hard and never taking any opportunities for granted, no matter where or what life has taken me through. Yonkers is always going to be a part of me and a part of who I am. It's taught me to adapt to life and and to pursue my goals with a lot of determination, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, just like I said, when we go through everything, you'll see what she's talking about, that determination and resilience, and what had to go through from the beginnings to now. You'll find out why that happened.
Yes, yes,
Um,
definitely.
did you, we'll start with the books. What made you get into that? Were you, big on reading at an early age?
Um, I'm gonna say for me, no. I really wasn't someone who read a lot of books or really dove into uh, I guess writing or even trying to figure out different things. But I feel like there's always been like a passion for me as far as writing goes. Um, Creating, conversations, and I feel like there's a lot of power in words. But I also feel like for me, as far as writing and my purpose and my goals, it wasn't something that came to me overnight. It was something that actually, of course, there was, I feel like sometimes if there's tragedy in your life, that it pushes you toward your purpose. And for me, that's basically what happened. My experience that I had. My son was killed in the service,
Yes.
and I think that really kind of sparked my intention in regard to writing and developing stories. It was really more of a therapy for me, and it just became, as time went on, it became more and more, something that I love to do. I love the idea of developing characters and shared experiences that readers can relate to. So it really kind of stemmed from a tragedy and kind of became what it is today. It kind of really sparked that fire in me.
Yeah. What you're saying, and rest in peace to your son, cousin Court.
Yes.
It's gonna be almost 20 years next year, right?
Yes, that's
20
right.
years. Yeah.
That's right.
Wow,
That's right.
the time is flying by, and
It has.
yeah, and I guess I hate to say it, but yes, something like that, for tragedy to happen, for you to just spark a light in you, like, you know what, I need to put something out there, and you did that, and we'll start with I'll talk about the first book that you came out with. Was it Juicy Story? Was that
A
it?
juicy
Juicy
story.
Story.
Yes.
Yep. I
Juicy
remember. I
story.
remember. Yeah, Juicy Story. Yep. So
Yes.
talk about how that came about and how that got going.
So again, like I said, for me, it was a way for me to kind of take myself out of the experiences in the dark. Um, I guess somebody once explained it like you're at the deep end of an ocean and you don't have a life jacket and you can't swim. So it was basically, writing kind of just gave me that for me to be able to create a story. So Juicy Story just was from, believe it or not, some of the experiences I went through in Yonkers, with your mom for one day.
Oh boy.
Yeah. I mean, we weren't any of the characters, but we were
Right.
definitely part of the story.
Yeah.
And just growing up in Yonkers, and it talks about, all of the people that we grew up with. It also talks about, not that we took drugs or anything, but it does talk about drug addiction.
Mhm.
It talks about, in that during the time when crack was very, very like prevalent in our
Mhm.
neighborhoods.
Mhm.
And it also talked about a lot of the partying that we did. And,
Mhm.
at the time, you don't think how some of those situations could be dangerous. But for us, it was just about having fun. It's just about
Mhm.
living our lives. And
Right.
so a juicy story is really about, somebody who is growing up in the inner city. She's living her life, but she unfortunately gets involved with drugs. And it also talks about how she eventually, pulls herself out of that situation and becomes a better person. But there was a lot she had to go through. And and again, it's about stories that we could relate to. I mean, we had a character there, or someone in real life that was we called her name was Juceline. So we have somebody in real life that was that person that we grew up with. But yeah, like I said, life experiences, it definitely teaches you a lot, but it also, a lot of times I bring in my life experiences into my books.
And it's good that you do that. And I bet people that have read it, especially people that known you, probably was like, wow. shoot, what she talking about, I was there. Or even people that don't know you from the inner city, it's like, yeah, that was me. Those 80s, 90s, like you said, the crack epidemic hit, the drugs was going, getting really involved in the community, but also the
Right.
partying, having fun, at the same time, enjoying yourself. And my mom and her, yeah, they definitely had a lot of fun. Yeah, I'll just tell you little stuff that I just kind of remember in a way of them getting go out, having their fun, as a kid, but I know they had their fun.
Yeah, it really is. For me, it's about, especially writing in general, it's about creating conversations, and I think it's so important for us to preserve those stories and give people something to think about. Every writing project for me challenges me to grow as a writer, but really, again, it comes from your life experiences, and I feel like for me that was just a perfect opportunity for me just to pay homage to some of the things that we did go through, but also just to show that, again, adapting to life and becoming something greater in life, no matter what the situation is.
Definitely, definitely. Other books that was out, you put out there like Everything Necessary, Delusional. There's other stuff that's out there. So, anything new that you got coming,
As
book
far
wise?
as, no, not as far as books. I mean, I'm always thinking of something, of course, but I haven't really started, writing, any books as of yet. I mean, I know people used to always ask me, "Oh, you're gonna write a story about your son?" And I don't think that I'm quite ready for that journey.
Hmm.
And although it's been, so many years that have passed, it's still very fresh for me. So I don't think I'm ready for that. And I also don't think that I have an ending to it. Just because his life ended doesn't mean that there's an ending to this book. There won't be an ending. His life continues in all of my work.
Right, right.
Just him as a person inspired me just to start, this journey. So yeah, I'm not ready for that.
Okay, okay.
Mm-mm.
She's also a screenwriter. She does plays. I remember she started something in the Yonkers Public Library. Can we get into that?
Yeah. So actually, that was a gift of sunshine.
Okay.
So a gift of sunshine was initially a book. I wrote the book first, and then I did the play, and then the play won the Betterment of Community Award for the city of Yonkers. It spoke about child abuse, and it spoke about a psychologist who was the gift of sunshine to this young girl who had went through so many different trials and tribulations in her life, and how she was rescued by this psychologist who she comes to find out. And I know I'm giving the story away, but she comes to find out that this psychologist was actually a family member of hers, but they never knew it until toward the end of the play and the book. So and that was very challenging for me too, for as far as like the play, because when we started that play, I think it was like, I hate to say it, but maybe 2.5, maybe 3 hours. And that was like my first play. And I said to myself, you know what, you got to cut this down because this is way too long. These people ain't gonna be wanting to sit in these seats all this time. And we had kids in the play too, so it was like, okay. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna have to take the kids out, for us to, limit the time that we were given as far as the story was. And again, I wanted people to really understand the story and to be vested in the story, and the length that it was just way too long. So we just had to cut the play a little short, but it was very inspiring, and a lot of people were able to relate to A Gift of Sunshine. And we also worked with some great organizations during that time. One was the Westchester Institute for Human Development in White Plains. We work
Yeah.
with them because they work with a lot of kids who unfortunately do have gone through situations where there's child abuse, and that was really a great opportunity for me to bring it to them. And we also did a lot of charity work based around that particular story.
Wow, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
It was good. It was sad in a way, but it was also very good because it was all about inspiring. And like I said, I love to be able to tell stories that people can relate to, that people can be inspired by and encouraged by and motivated by, and somehow see the ending being much more than what they saw in the very beginning of it.
Wow, that is impressive. Really is. Now you have something new coming out. You also doing series.
Yes, we just started this series. So one thing about the writing a book and then the plays, the books, of course, that's great. I love to write books, and it also, like I said, when you're writing a book, people are able to really get into a particular character. As far as like stage is another like dimension, because you get to see your words and actions come alive on stage, and there's something really special about seeing audiences reactions. With series or television and movies, i, I like to say that's like an extension of for me, as far as storytelling goes.
Mhm.
I feel like every format offers something different or a different way to connect with an audience. Um, and, it's just something that people can see and people can react to very quickly. But yes, I have a series out. It's called Half Past 30. Um, and it's gotten quite a bit of reviews, and it's also on a film festival sort of journey. We got into the Big Apple Film Festival.
Nice.
We are now we've been accepted into the Hip Hop Film Festival, and then we've been accepted into the Detroit Film Festival. So
Wow.
yeah, we're very excited about that, and this story is different from everything or anything I ever wrote. My movies are, like I said, they're all about, giving a voice to the voiceless. One of the other short films that I wrote was called The Smile of a Monster, and that was about interpersonal dating violence. And then Her Decision was about the disparities of Black women during childbirth. And then so this series is way different from anything that I've written. And I also have a co-writer. His name is Chian Etienne. We call him Romeo. And this one is about a rap artist. It's about a rap artist that is sort of like he has some challenges in his life, and it just gives a different perspective. We're so used to seeing rap artists and the glamour of it all, but this kind of gives you a very softer side of an individual, and also it kind of takes a look into his life and his friendships. And then we have a virtual uh, story that's kind of going around on IG. So if anybody wants to check it out, Half Past 30. It's a vertical drama, but it's part of this series. And yeah, but the pilot is moving very quickly through these film festivals, and we're very excited to see where it goes. We've actually written 6 episodes,
Wow.
and that's the first season, and we've already written the second season. So we're very, very optimistic about how far this is going to take us. And again, it's not for us. It's not really about. I think people always get confused when they think about film writers and novelists, that it's all about the money. It's not about the money. It's just about us creating these stories and telling these stories.
Right.
Passion is just being a storyteller.
Yeah, definitely. And the stories that you're putting out there, like you said, again, stuff that a lot of people will relate to, a lot of people would like to hear about, and that's good that you're really putting it out there. I'm definitely going to be tuning into that series because I saw a little clip of it and I was like, okay, all right, I got to get to this. So, yeah, thank you for that. And hope that keeps going.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm like, again, very optimistic. And we're kind of just like raising the question too, with this vertical drama that's on Instagram, about men and women having, can men and women really be friends and just friends, purely platonic?
Right, right.
Is that possible? And the comments that you get, it's like,
Mm-hmm.
based off what you're seeing, it's like, oh no, she playing him, or oh no, he's trying to get with her. But there are men and women who can be friends and it can have a purely platonic relationship, but just how far can that go? So
Right.
we're asking that question. And I think that's what storytelling is about too. You're always asking the questions that people want to have the answers to. Sometimes it's right in front of you.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it can be done, just being friends is just like you said, how far. Because then sometimes feelings does get into it, and then that's where things could kind of, unravel or kind of mess things up. So I could definitely understand that, and that is great. That's a great topic.
It
That's
is.
wow.
Listen, let me
Yeah.
tell you, people are so like, oh my gosh. I have a friend a coworker, and she's always like, oh, that's disgusting. No, they can't be. They can be
Mhm.
friends. They shouldn't be going after each other. It's like it's not. That's not so simple, and it really depends on the individual. I mean, are you emotionally attached to your friend? I think that you are, regardless, as far as the female and the male go. Yeah, I think you're emotionally attached. I think at 3 o'clock in the morning, you come from a bad date, that's your best friend, you're going to call them up on the phone and tell them all
Right.
about the date.
Right.
You're not thinking of anything else. But if there's some sort of emotional attachment, is there a possibility? Hell yeah, there's a
Yeah.
possibility. So it's out there,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
definitely out there.
Yeah.
And for us, I think it's really important for us too, because we have so many people that are vested in half past 30, and our producer Naomi Taylor, and then we have our DP Carlos Slusher, and then we have our editor Brandon Daly, um, and then we have so many others in the cast and the crew that are vested in this story. And I think that's really, really important, as far as like having a team that is behind you, really wanting this to go further, and really wanting that message to get out there. So yeah, we're excited. We're excited. I hope everybody look at the him. I'm just getting a shameless plug. The Hip Hop Film Festival is taking place on August 21st. It's
Okay.
at the Look Cinema in Dobbs Ferry.
All
Our
right.
show is at 9 o'clock, August 21st. Tickets are only $20. You can look up the ticket link on Half Past 30 on IG. So please check it out. Come see it. Tell us what you think. Also follow the page Half Past 30. Check out the vertical drama, and listen. You will not be disappointed. I guarantee you.
Look,
You'll be asking some of them questions for
look
sure.
at that. Y'all go. Y'all saw that. Y'all heard that info, and I'm gonna put it out there later on my Instagram and stuff. Go check that out. All right. Um, real quick, we got about a few more minutes. Community person, how you got to that, you right there, under the mayor, to keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. Yeah, you right there in Yonkers. Yes.
I am definitely right there. In the mayor's office. I work in government. I love it because I work in a department that basically that caters to a lot of the constituents in the city of Yonkers. But being connected with the community, I mean, really, honestly, in the community is where I think everything begins. Where you hear the voices and experiences, and you get the opportunity to help and assist people. I think ever since, again, I'm going back to my son. Ever since my son was killed in the service, I think that is really what spearheaded me to get involved in my community, doing charity work. I've also built a foundation. I work with other mothers who unfortunately have lost children. So and then I work with the veteran community because, of course, my son was a veteran. So I just, that's just something that's in me at this point, because it's part of my fabric. And I enjoy doing the work. I really, really do. But my first passion, of course, is storytelling. But anything that deals with my community, I try my best to make sure that I stay involved, and I stay connected. I do feel like it's my responsibility, especially being a woman and a woman of color, to make sure that my community is served
Yeah.
appropriately.
Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Thank you for that. Appreciate you for doing that, and also, um, you're doing these plays and series and movies. I would love to see if you could do it, or do something about Yonkers. Like
Oh yeah.
do something. Somebody do a story about Yonkers. We got a lot of first of all, we got a lot of history in Yonkers that a lot of people don't talk about. I'm just gonna go off the notables with Mary J.
Hmm.
Blige, Jada Kiss, the Locks. Um, it's a bunch of different stuff that a lot of people from the outside don't know because they always talk about we upstate or we the sixth borough,
I know, right? Right.
and right. So it's like no, we got a story. We got a story that y'all don't know about that does need to be heard. I hope one day, if not you, somebody could really have a real Yonkers story, and it's not even just about the side on Warburton or Riverdale. It could be even on the other side of Central Avenue, or up there top by Runyon Heights, but it needs to be something there to talk about.
No,
I don't know if you ever thought about that.
No, as a matter of fact, my partner, one of the producers, he started writing something, and we're kind of looking at it. But it's some of it, yeah, it has to deal with Yonkers period. But there was, I think I don't know if it was a short film or film about DMX at one point in time. Yeah, it was a short film about DMX. I'm going to mention this gentleman's name. His name is Superior. And I know he had been working on something along with another gentleman. His name is Demarai Dineron. They had been doing something in regard to DMX. But yeah, I agree. Yonkers needs the spotlight. You know how they got the Shy? Come on
Yeah,
now.
yeah,
Come on.
yeah. And we could do it. We could do it.
And
we got Hollywood right off the river now. So
there
we
you
definitely
go.
have it
Hollywood on
done.
the Hudson. All
Yes,
right now.
yes. Well, Auntie, thank you so much,
Thank
for coming
you.
on and just giving us your story, your info, and I want to give you your flowers because
Thank you.
I want to I not only just put you out there, but I wanted people to hear this, people that don't know about this, and and I'm glad you shared this with us, and you shared it with me, and I got to learn a little something. So I thank you so much for coming on
Thank
the
you.
podcast.
Yes, thank you. Number 25. That's gonna be it. 25. Y'all see the key again? Yeah, right.
Yeah, I see. That's that Yonkers in the.
That's right. Okay.
Oh, and I'm gonna let you go. Last thing, it just is, you don't gotta even answer it. My dad always talks about back then in the 80s and 90s, there was this place that they always go that everybody talked about, all the acts would go to, Authors. What was just real quick, real 30-second, give me that. Was that everything? Like
Authors was everything. Authors was everything. You got to come in there with your new outfit on. Authors. You got to see people. And listen, Yonkers is about knowing your first and your last name. You can't go to Yonkers without saying, I know Johnny. No, you got to be Johnny Jackson. So you got to know everybody but the first and the last name. But Authors had it going on. That was our hangout spot. And it was a spot that you would go to, and there was no kind of fighting or violence or anything. You just went there to party, to listen to music, to hook up with or see your neighbors and friends in the neighborhood. It was a happening spot back then.
wow.
Yes.
Thank you again, Auntie. And
Thank you, my love.
Stay on real quick. Don't leave as we go out. For everybody who's watching and listening, thank you very much for just hearing this as we got these stories that were shared to us here on the KSN podcast. I'm your host, Kurt the Magnificent. Peace, love. You already know. You have a good night, y'all.
Number one